This episode of the podcast, I'm having Angie here as my guest. So I'm going to ask her if she wants to present herself. Who are you and what are you doing here in Denmark?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Angie. I am 23 and I'm currently doing a volunteer year in Denmark. I come from a very small country located in Central America called Costa Rica, so I'm more from the tropical side. My project here in Denmark is basically an after school, which I don't know how many countries have this kind of boarding school, but what I do is help with Spanish classes mainly, and we also have like some sports, like volleyball. So yeah, I have been here for 4 months so far in Denmark.
Nice, nice. And why did you choose Denmark? Like you're coming from Costa Rica, it's like paradise on earth, and then you decide to come to like the country where it's like flat and rainy and gray and
Well, I think every country has its beauty. For me, it's very, very different. And somehow my idea of doing this year abroad was to step out of my comfort zone. And the best way to do that, I think, is going somewhere that's totally different from what you're used to. And for me, in my case, Denmark was that different that I was looking for at that point.
and in what do you see the most difference?
There's so many different things that I find could be kind of opposite to what I'm used to. We can start with the weather, but I would say people. I find the people very different, even though Danes are quite open and kind. I feel like there is a huge, huge difference between Latin American people and Danish people. So I would say people, it's probably the main difference that I have experienced so far, as in cultural shock.
Yeah, we talked about this in our ESC program seminars a lot, like culture shock. Like when you come to a new culture, then the first time everything is like, oh my god, it's so cool, it's so different. But then you feel like, oh shit, it's not that easy to find your place in that whole thing. And yeah, I think like when it comes to social contacts, it's pretty hard in Denmark. Like
True.
for us, for example, like we're living in a countryside and not like in København, where you have the possibility to go out and to meet international people, but also Danes in a daily way. But like here in my city, for example, sometimes there's nobody there, or there are some people, but not people I want to hang out with, like old people or children.
That's true. That's true. Like making friends, it's also a huge challenge, I would say. But also, even if you have a good relationship with the person that you work with, like at my school, the teachers, there was this time where I just really want to distance myself from everyone. I just decided that I was not feeling suitable in a way, that I was not fitting. So it was better for me to just be alone and not talk to anyone. So I feel like it comes in different ways. Like you are not, it's not that easy for you to make friends in here, because it's a little bit more difficult to break that barrier of a Dane when you want to talk to them, for example, or just simply have a relationship, a friendship, anything with them. It's just like so hard to figure out how you do that in here. But I think it's also part of the cultural shock, maybe.
Yeah.
So
And I think definitely because we come here and then we expect kind of that, oh my gosh, I'm going to Denmark, I'm going to make so many Danish friends, but then you're standing here like in an empty city, like, okay. But I think it's also like a little bit of an issue that in the months where it is gray and cold, like literally from October to March, people are not going outside. They're staying at home. In Denmark, they're very private and they like to spend time at home with their families, so they don't go out. And yeah, so you cannot find them and you cannot really go to their door and knock, knock, hello, do you want to be my friend? So, yeah. But yeah, as you said, like sometimes, on the other hand, you need, like especially when you're working at a school, there are like so many people. So sometimes you just need to break out of this and take a day off. And yeah, like they're sweet and funny and everything, but especially like at the beginning, it was sometimes much because I'm not used to it. And yeah. And on the same time, solitude. I don't know if you experienced it, but sometimes I was like, oh no, I have no friends here. I feel so lonely.
So far, I haven't felt that yet. I think it was mainly me feeling like I'm not fitting at all in the environment or with the people. Even though they treat me very well, I felt comfortable with them. I like being with them. I like talking to the kids. I like spending time with them. It was more of a me issue. It was more of me trying to adjust to something that's completely different to what I'm used to. And the language is also a huge challenge as well when it comes to cultural shock, because sometimes you not understanding completely what's going on around you and just hearing makes you really, really emotionally tired. And I think that's also something that happened when I wanted to just be by myself. I just wanted to get rid of not feeling like part of the community at all.
Yeah.
I felt better by myself than with everyone else.
Yeah, I think it was for me a little bit the same at the beginning, but it was quite better after like I attended Danish classes and then I got my host family, so I became closer and closer to the Danish culture, and I noticed also that when they see that you make an effort or that you're like trying, then they are like even more social, because like, I noticed here at school, like my relationship to the students, or like the relation changed so much after like I became quite okay. I can say that I'm maybe fluent in Danish, like that I can have a conversation and talk Danish the whole day long. So that changed a lot, because they had then the feeling, okay, yeah, she's now kind of a part of us. But that's me adjusting to them.
That's true.
Yeah. Because if I, like in your case, when you talk English with them, then you will always be like the one who talks English. But I think that's it. When you are like a volunteer, it's not, I think you don't have to always learn the language, because I know a few other volunteers who don't talk Danish and still have a good experience with Danes. And
yeah, I feel like actually probably something that really helped me, it's basically that relationship or that bond that I have with the kids at the school so far. They are really nice, they are really open, they're really interested in me. They always want to make me feel like I'm part of their community, I'm part of their group. So that helps a lot. As you said, probably speaking Danish will help even more. I'm just having a difficult time with it because I find it very, very different and very difficult. So I think it's a process. Probably it will get better with time. Hopefully it will. And with that, it might lead me to a solution for the cultural shock that I'm experimenting right now.
Yeah, so I think, we talked a lot about this, or like you could talk even more about it, because there are like so many situations and examples about
And there's so many like
it.
comparisons as well.
Yeah, because for everyone it's like different. Because for me, the culture shock here wasn't that huge, because like even though like Italy is more like southern and it is very special also like in culture, and it's still like, I think in Europe it's not that huge, like the culture shock between the countries, or like because we, I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, but I think it's much more different when you're coming from like,
A whole
literally
different continent.
like
Yeah,
overseas.
that's true.
Yeah,
There's so many differences. Yeah.
yeah. So thank you, Angie,
Very welcome.
joining me on the blue couch.
Nice to be here.
And now we're getting something to eat.
Yes.
Italian piadina.
Nice.